shifts, new PPE, new normal. I'm Brian Moore, and this is Focus NNS. We're here in Building 520 where dividers have been installed at the security desk. It's just one more way Newport News Shipbuilding is adapting to prevent the spread of COVID-19. We'll show you some other changes taking place, including the latest on temperature screening and the change to 2 shifts from 3. Also, the Crisis Action Group, or CAG. We'll tell you what that's all about and talk to the director. And history repeats itself. We'll look back at the pandemic of 1918 and how Newport News Shipbuilding dealt with that crisis. Those stories and more are coming up, but first on deck, liberal leave is coming to an end on May 18th. Company President Jennifer Boykin put out a communication on May 5th outlining those plans. To continue providing flexibility, NNS is offering a COVID-19 unpaid leave of absence, which allows shipbuilders to take unpaid time off with the peace of mind of knowing your job will be waiting when you return. To learn more about that, including frequently asked questions, please go to the Newport News Shipbuilding 411 website. Another big change, temperature screens for everyone entering the shipyard began on May 4th. It's another measure to prevent the spread of the coronavirus. Aaron Pritchett with our Communications Division has that story.
It's a new routine in the midst of this new norm, and one that will definitely take some time getting used to. But the new temperature screening process is just another layer of protection to ensure that Newport News Shipbuilding is doing all it can to keep the greatest shipbuilders in the world safe.
Just letting us know they care. They putting forth an effort, to keep us coming to work. I know it's a lot of people depending on us, not only just our family at home, the Navy waiting on us, and they, are starting to come aboard the boat. But just trying, stay safe, trying to keep the social distance, very important.
One of the things we knew the team wanted to implement was this temperature screening. So for about the last couple weeks, we've been really planning to try to put together all the logistics to make it happen here. So really haven't had any pushback. Everyone's been working together because they know it's something we need to do to keep the employees safe.
Please put your mask on before you get into the line.
On Monday we started the temperature screening process, and as the days have gone by, we have seen improvement based on logistics. We've seen improvement on our craftsmen wearing their face coverings even as they approach the gates.
Please put on your mask.
And we hope that that behavior continues forward as we go through the process. In addition to the gates that we currently have that are instituting the process, we also have the temperature screening process implemented at both the North Gate, which is the VIS gate, and we also have that at the 40th Street gate as well.
It's really important that everybody works together to be all on the same page so that we can keep each other safe, because it's such a big place and with so many people, we have such an important job to continue building ships that everybody needs to be all on the same page to keep each other safe, follow social distancing and washing their hands and following the procedures that the shipyards put in place to keep us safe.
Make sure you wear your masks and ensure proper social distancing as you make your way through the 7 gates that are open 24 hours a day. And if you need more information on this new process or any of the other guidelines regarding COVID-19, please refer to the Newport News Shipbuilding 411 website. For Focus NNS, I'm Aaron Pritchett. Back to you, Brian.
All right, thank you so much, Aaron. Joining us now is Beth Silsdorf. She's heading up this group called the CAG. And Beth, we're going to talk to you over WebEx with a camera in our office, no one else in here, so we can forego the mask for a little while. So Beth, the shipyard loves its acronyms, so tell us what CAG means and what the group is charged with.
So Brian, the CAG is known as the Crisis Action Group, and we're a group of managers and leaders who were brought together specifically to respond to this crisis, to provide a coordinated, collaborative response that are centered across 4 objectives. The first objective is minimizing the risk to our personnel. The second objective is executing our mission while meeting our customer needs. The third objective is centered around timely, transparent, and relevant communications. And the fourth objective is focused on maintaining our employees' job security by ensuring our business continuity. This group of leaders was brought together to consider all of those particular objectives and provide recommendations and actions that are aimed at mitigating the risk of spreading the disease as well as maximizing our mission.
So one of the things that the CAG has come up with and put into place now is going from 3 shifts to 2 shifts. There is a lot of discussion about why wouldn't you go to 4 shifts or something like that to spread out even further. Can you talk a little bit about the reasoning behind going to the 2 shifts?
Previously, before COVID, the shipyard was on a 3 8-hour shift rotation. The way that our people were distributed was that the majority were actually on first shift. So around 77% of our workforce, and I'm talking primarily our production workforce, was assigned to first shift. And so the other 23% were assigned to second and third shifts. So when we recommended a course of action for what is our new schedule, or what are our new business operations going to look like, we had to consider social distancing and time to clean. And so staying with 3 shifts, although when you think about it, it would have given us a 33% workforce distribution, it doesn't give us the amount of time needed to provide cleaning and sanitization of a lot of our common areas. The plan right now, the way that it looks for numbers, is we're going to achieve a 56% and 44% distribution between first and second shifts. So that's significantly better in terms of spreading out our workforce.
So the other thing is the temperature screen. So that is underway now. Can you tell us how that is going at this point?
By the looks of everything, it's going very well. The contractors that we have selected to do the monitoring are getting into the groove, and really no backups at any of the gates. And I've walked all of the pedestrian turnstiles this week, observed how we were executing the process, and I've seen a steady improvement over the past 3 days. One of the things that we're still challenged with is mask use, and because the lines are the way that they are, it is mandatory that masks be worn because social distancing is not it's not easy to do when you're standing in these lines, and so that's why the mask wear is mandatory.
Right, so everybody needs to bring their masks, and everybody needs to take it on themselves to make sure that they're social distancing. As you said, it's really hard to do as you're going through a line, but if you're consciously thinking about it, thinking about the people around you, it can be done. So Beth, anything else you want to add while I've got you here?
I just want to remind everybody that everybody has a personal responsibility when they come to work to ensure that they're minimizing the spread of COVID-19. I believe the shipyard has really stepped up its efforts to provide the resources and the protocols to keep our workplace safe. Now it's up to every individual to take on that responsibility.
All right, Beth, thank you so much. We appreciate your joining us today. Thanks. So part of the reason of going from 3 shifts to 2 shifts is to allow for plenty of time to clean in between shifts. Crews are cleaning high touch point areas across the shipyard between shifts. All areas from the south yard to mid yard to north yard are being cleaned. Those high traffic areas and high touch point areas like the cafes and the gangways on CVN 79 and CVN 73, and handrails in places like the SMOF, elevator buttons in buildings throughout the yard, and time clocks.
We normally clean, but this right here, due to what's going on in the world, we had to actually go back, sit down, and re-strategize exactly what areas we were going to hit to help sanitize, to make sure that this shipyard is ready for when the next shift comes in. It's sanitized and it's ready to go.
Right, it's not only my responsibility to do this overnight, it's everyone else's responsibility. as well as making sure that all trades are cleaning up after themselves, wiping down everything that they do, even in the time clocks.
The shift changes are also a way to spread out shipbuilders to more balanced shifts to allow for social distancing. Social distancing during work and crew talks like this one will prevent the spread of COVID-19 and allow Newport News Shipbuilding to continue the mission of critical work of building, overhauling, and delivering ships to the United States Navy. Well, history is a big part of Newport News Shipbuilding, and it's on display in many areas, including the glass cases here in Building 520. When we talk about the COVID-19 pandemic, we often hear the word unprecedented, but in reality, we've been here before. Lena Wallace joins us now with more on the pandemic of 1918 and how Newport News Shipbuilding dealt with that.
Social distancing, self-isolation, face mask, all words you hear today in reference to COVID-19. These are the same words used more than a century ago here at Newport News Shipbuilding, where shipbuilders battled the Spanish flu, also known as the influenza pandemic of 1918. But like today, shipbuilders back then had the same resilience to build the nation's defense.
World War I. Never in our history had so many of our men gone so far to protect our homeland.
The industrial might of World War I kept Newport News Shipbuilding open during the Spanish flu pandemic. When it hit, shipyard president Homer L. Ferguson received this memo from the company's chief surgeon, stating to avoid as far as possible all public meetings or gatherings and other close contacts with persons sneezing or coughing.
Are there similarities to today and, the Spanish flu? There's so much. Everyone understood you had to have a face mask. They understood everyone who did need to go out shouldn't go out.
American Red Cross volunteers were busy in communities across the country.
And instead of knitting socks for the soldiers, it was more important that we made those masks.
The shipyard helped transform Walter Reed School to an emergency hospital, labeled Job Order 79900 in this shipyard record book. Medical professionals around the world were overwhelmed trying to fight the virus, which had no treatment. A major difference between the Spanish flu and COVID-19, speed.
We have a world economy now, and there's a lot more travel than there used to be. The Spanish flu moved over from Europe. It took over a year to spread throughout the world, and that certainly wasn't the case with the coronavirus.
Troops who voyaged from Europe to Newport News Shipbuilding often brought the Spanish flu with them. But about 13,000 shipbuilders pushed forward as essential workers to build battleships and destroyers to support the nation at war.
Those people worked throughout the entire flu epidemic, especially because it was called essential work. We had the needs of America to fulfill, and we were on this great mission. Just like today, we want to protect democracy throughout the world, then it was to save democracy.
Although government leaders shut down the city of Newport News during the Spanish flu, restaurants along Washington Avenue remained open for military personnel and shipbuilders, just like they do today. Within its 134-year-old gates, shipbuilders throughout history have overcome challenges and changes like the Spanish flu. But the mission remains the same here at Newport News Shipbuilding, to always build good ships. For Focus NNS, I'm Lena Wallace.
All right, Lena, great research there, great story, we appreciate it. That's going to do it for this edition of Focus NNS, but please remember, the 411 website for all the latest information on what Newport News Shipbuilding is doing as we continue to navigate our way through these challenging times. We also have our publication Currents that is now being published twice a week with important updates and stories about Newport News Shipbuilding and the COVID-19 situation. And download our free app, NNS To Go. It's available in the Google and Apple stores on your smartphones and tablets. Thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe. I'm Brian Moore.